Hello, YouTube viewers. I'm John Milewski, host of Dialogue. Welcome to the Wilson Center in Washington, D.C. We're on the set of Dialogue, where I just concluded a discussion with three people who have been on an intensive 2-week visit to Liberia under the auspices of the International Reporting Project. And I'll introduce you to them one by one, and we'll hear about what they did. Teresa Wiltz joins us. Teresa, tell us what the stories are that you are working on as a result of your trip or already have filed.
I'm pretty much done with my work, but I did 3 reported pieces. One was just kind of an overview looking at Liberia and its history with African American freed slaves. And then the second piece I worked on was about rape in Liberia and how the country deals with the aftermath of where rape was used as a tool of war. And then my third piece is looking at feminism and the burgeoning feminism movement in Liberia.
And your work can be found at root.com and also through the International Reporting Project website as well.
Exactly.
Ed, you are in the process of editing, I understand.
I'm in the process of editing. I have actually I have quite a few stories, and there's one on Sugars Cooper, Edwina Sugars Cooper, Edwina Sugars Cooper, who's a great person, and
she is.
And that story is really about how an international level peacemaker who helped bring peace to Liberia ends up being the mayor of a small town in Liberia. And that's an opportunity to see a side of Liberia rarely seen, and a woman who's extraordinary, and problems of the country. And I have a number of stories on everything from a rap artist, entrepreneur, to some of the general up that was mentioned, who was an ex-soldier, now is an agriculturalist, to story on Firestone, which is a very complex story.
And the interview with President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf that
is already up.
And you can find Ed Robbins' work on the IRP website, but also time.com will be.
Time.com runs my stories often of late in New York Times. Too.
Also with us, Sunni Khalid, came north or south on the 95 from Baltimore.
Yeah, well, it feels like I went north.
Sorry about the temperature.
That's an old joke. That's an old joke.
Well, tell us about the stories that you.
I did one story after I came back, which was based on the interview with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I'm doing a 5-part series this week. The first 4 pieces have run. I'm actually going to be running back to Baltimore to finish the 5th part, which will run tomorrow, and that's on land disputes. And I'm going to do 2 online pieces, and those will be on the WYPR website, but they'll also be on the IRP website first.
And one quick final thought. Does this change you as a reporter? Does this experience now create a commitment to Liberia that perhaps wasn't there before, to revisit the story?
It's energized me. I had told Ed and other folks that, I'm getting tired of reporting. It's time for me to do something else. And that sort of recharged my batteries. I would love to go back to Liberia for the elections, if nothing else, the presidential elections. And before I went to Liberia, I studied all about Africa, and I just really sort of ignored Liberia. And I had very little sympathy for the Americo-Liberians or for Liberia at all. And that is no longer the case. And one of the reasons why is because the Liberians themselves, the ones that we talk to, seem to be optimistic about the future of their country. And like I said, that's refreshing.
Yeah, I think the intensive and organized way in which IRP put this thing together made us into experts in a way that you don't get in many other situations, where you're basically put in a room and getting press conferences.
This is an immersion program.
It was an immersion, a lot of field work, and I felt like coming out of the country, I had met everyone from the top ministers in the country to
14-year-old rape survivors.
Exactly,
No.
exactly, and we really met a range all the way to the president. And having the president's card actually got me out of trouble in one case. So I feel like going back, we're knowledgeable, which is part of the point of what IRP was doing.
Yeah.
Final thought, Teresa?
It just makes me, I think it's such a luxury with the imploding industry, journalism industry, it's such a luxury to be able to do
budget
any
cuts
kind
in
of,
foreign bureaus.
Yeah. So I just
makes this work even more relevant.
It was just amazing, and it just, like Sunni, I just felt really re-energized and committed to international coverage.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Louise.
John and Louise from IRP are sitting here in the studio, and also I'll end with this. This is someone you, in one of your stories you quoted, who said, "The people here, they need their stories told." You told their stories. Thank you. If you'd like to hear more from our guests, you can come to our website, wilsoncenter.org. Look on the upper right-hand side. You'll see a tab for dialogue. If you click there, you can find the entire 30-minute interview. And then, as we said, if you go to these other websites, you'll find the entire body of work. Thanks.